As I said, you've got all these things that you can do. Do you just get bored doing one thing? Because you could be making a living as a photographer, right? Know you're.
I kind of am what I'm trying to.
Solely as a photographer, is what I'm saying. So you could be directing all of your time and energy and passion into music. And you've chosen to spread yourself across those different outlets. As you say, the storytelling is at the heart of it. But would you be bored if you only had your camera and you were only taking stills?
I think that I don't consider myself to have a job still to this day. And I think that's the best way I can answer that, in a sense of, it's going to sound incredibly cliche, but as someone who considers themselves to be an artist, that isn't like an active choice that I make.
Right.
That's just how I see, like, being an artist to me isn't like, cool, I'm going to wake up today and put pen to pad or I'm going to pick up my camera or I'm going to write 2,000 words. It's just how I see the world. It's a really fluid thing for me. So with that in mind, it's kind of like, cool, I'm doing a shoot today, going to get money for that shoot. But then the money that I'm getting for that shoot, I'm going to go and pay a model, get a studio, shoot a personal project.
Right.
Or it could be a case of, cool, we got X amount of money from streams coming this month, I'm going to go and book a studio. Like every source of income that I get from my job, I then put straight back into the artistic outlet for me.
Right, okay. So you're reinvesting in some way, shape or form, whether it's your personal stuff or the next project that's going to come along.
Yeah, but that next project doesn't necessarily have to be with like fiscal gain in mind. It could just be, I feel that I should make that. I believe that I should be doing this right now.
Do you feel, because that it kind of bucks the trend then, doesn't it, basically? The path that so many people put themselves on, the treadmill, the ladder, whatever you want to call it, of what's next? Where's the next waypoint I'm going to go for? How much higher can I go?
Yeah.
Is that, to me, that sounds like a really liberating mindset to have. Like you are kind of unshackled from this feeling that I need to go and do this, to then go and get this, to then go and bounce forward and do that, and then the stepping stone is to this.
Yeah.
Is it quite hard to live like that though? Like, where's the next piece of work coming from? Are you under societal pressure or pressure from friends or family to then be seen to be going up, if that makes sense?
Yeah. I think I used to get really like down and out about it. I used to kind of be like, why am I not getting more work? Or why am I not shooting this campaign? Why am I not getting that client? And the more I kind of stopped and sat back and thought to myself, well, no, actually, I'm 100% in the purest way doing exactly what I want to do every day. And that could be in, with a myriad of different outlets or whatever. But I used to get really down on myself and be like, shit, I've got rent due in 2 days and I literally don't have the money to do it. I better go and sell some prints or something. I don't know, like hustle, figure it out.
Yeah.
But I think that now I'm kind of in a position where work's picking up and I've got kind of clients that are good. I'm getting really good new like work opportunities. And I love what I do for work, but I don't really consider it a job. It's like I was having a really interesting conversation with my friend the other day, actually, and he said something to me that just blew my mind. And he was like, there's two types of artists. There's artists that create for the masses, and there are artists that create for other artists. And if you don't know what one you are, then you're probably the first one.
Right.
Because I heard him say that and I was like, well, I'm the second one.
Right.
Like in
what camp you fall
in
into.
its purest form. Like, and I'm not saying that to try and sound like, oh, I'm so inspiring, because I know that I'm only really probably inspiring to myself most of the time. But it's the sort of thing where there's obviously, sometimes there's a load of chefs in the kitchen when you're doing a certain job and it needs to be done a certain way, and that's great. And I can abide by them rules and I can provide the product that you need from me, whether it's photos, video, scripts, journalism, writing, whatever it is, I can provide the product. But then I know that I get to go away with the money that you've given me and I get to go and fucking be an artist for myself.
Got you. Okay. Because we talk about a lot about the balance between creating for yourself and creating to a brief.
Yeah.
But you sound like you've got a really good balance with that. And
yeah.
sometimes you have to accept this time around, I'm going to create to a brief because that's going to get me paid. But I'm going to reinvest that and do the things for the shits and giggles that I want to create and do it that way.
Yeah.
I ask that question not from a position of judgment. I ask it from a position of coveting that in a way. Like I listen to your outlook and listen to the mindset, the description of the mindset you have. And I'm like, just being able to, there's something really liberating about that. So I ask it because I'm sat going, how do I switch that on? Where's that switch? I think so many of us societally get stuck on what's next. How do I get a mortgage? How do I buy this? How do I buy that?
Yeah.
What status symbols, what material things am I going to be judged on to make sense or to make it feel like I'm achieving in life?
Yeah.
You must feel that to a degree, or are you immune from that?
I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm immune and I've got absolutely everything figured out, but correct me if I'm wrong, but to me it sounds like what you've just described there is a lifestyle. And a lifestyle, in my mind, I'm not talking about like just a vague lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like, but a lifestyle is something that you get to choose. Your lifestyle could be that, you know, you go and work 9 to 5, you play golf on the weekends and go Benidorm with your boys at in the summer holidays, whatever. Like that's a lifestyle choice.
Yeah.
Me doing what I am and me seeing the world how I see it isn't a choice. Like there's adversity. There's times where, like I said, I haven't had money to pay rent. I've been in relationships with the most, you know, kind-hearted, generous, amazing women, and I've broken their hearts because of just the way that I see the world. I can't give them or offer them what they need from me societally.
Right, understood.
You know, like there's definitely pitfalls. It's not this kind of I'm just meandering out in the world like, oh wow, look at that tree. I'm going to look at that for 5 hours.
It's easy to romanticize it, right?
Of course
it really is easy to romanticize it. But yeah, there's always, it's a double-edged sword. There's pros and cons.
Yeah, of course. There's definitely a balance to it, and I definitely don't have all of it figured out. But one thing that I do know is that the more you kind of sit there and worry about external validation, the more you're not going to feel internally validated. But I also think that this is sometimes conversations and questions that people don't ask themselves, so therefore they're not bothered. And that's absolutely fair enough. But unfortunately, I've had some fucking horrible conversations with myself and they've demanded some pretty nasty answers. And where I've kind of got to now is a result of them horrible conversations that I've had.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that I had them. I weren't at the time, but you know.
Well, it's tough, isn't it? Like people don't want to ask hard questions of themselves a lot of the time.
No, I feel like a lot of people spend a lot of their life not even really knowing who they are. And that isn't me saying like, I've got everything figured out. I certainly don't, but I definitely know who I am.
That is what's coming across in a really positive way. You know yourself.
Yeah.
And I think hearing that, again, it's really, I'm so fortunate and privileged to sit in this chair across from a lot of people that do know themselves.
Of course.
And are self-assured and also really honest about the fact that they're not always getting it right. They're not always feeling great about decisions they're making or whatever, but you know your North Star, you know what's true to you. Yeah. And you're not afraid to share that, say it out loud.
Yeah.
I think that's a great position to be in.
That's a hill I'm very willing to die on.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather be a 70-year-old man if I make it that long. I'd rather be an old man kind of looking back in a studio with a shitload of art on the wall that I've made thinking, oh, I gave it a go. You know?
I love that. I have to ask you this question because this is another thing that's come up in podcasts before. Do you believe that everyone is creative?
No.
Discuss. My point on this is that I've said in earlier episodes, usually with my mum and brother, who I've interviewed a couple of times now.
Nice.
And my mum and brother want to believe that I'm a creative person. They want to believe that because they're artists by trade. So they're more, my mum's
it's in your DNA.
Exactly this.
Yeah.
My mum's a ceramicist and my brother's illustrator, incredible artists, both of them.
Yeah.
They look at what I do. I run a recruitment agency.
Right.
And they go, you're an artist though, John. You've got these creative abilities, all this stuff. I've never felt like I did. I started to say this on the podcast, and a lot of people's response, but everyone's creative. You can create in any way, but I like to hear the counter argument.
No, I don't think that everyone is creative.
Okay.
But I also don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing.
I agree with that. Yeah.
You know,
okay.
I think that if the world was full of just creatives, I mean, to be honest, I don't want to sound like John Lennon, but imagine. Yeah, I think that I wasn't creative until I was 18 years older. I wasn't creative until I was 20 years of age.
Right.
It's kind of, I do think it's something that you can definitely tap into if you want to tap into it. But I don't think that everyone is just kind of given this God-given gift of creative that you know, just, go and be creative today. You need like a transformation, like the word that you said. You need that. It's possible, but I don't think it's as easy as everyone is creative. I was not creative.
Are we also mixing it up with talented as well? Because again, let's say as an example, I could get a blank piece of paper now and you could ask me to draw a picture.
Yeah.
I can do that and I've created something.
Yeah.
But whether that picture is good is going to be based on an element of talent, right?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, yeah, it depends how subjective everyone's feeling.
Well, that's the other thing, isn't it? Yeah. So creativity in itself is subjective. It's through the perspective that you're viewing it.
Like, trust me, my accountant, very creative man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But anyone self-employed, I think they're the good ones.
My accountant is a creative man.
Okay.
But like,
it depends how you're labeling creative.
Of course. Yeah, I think I understood your question as, you know, my version of creative.
Yeah. Well, because it's subjective. It's what do you deem to be creative? And I do understand it. Yeah, it's just for so many episodes I used to say I'm not creative, and some people would sit in that chair and go, yeah, but everyone's creative. Everyone's creative, and very slowly I feel like I was eroded down into going, yeah, maybe everyone is creative. But sitting here opposite you now, I don't know if that's strictly true. We can all go out and create something, but it doesn't make you a creative.
There are musicians that are not creative.
Yeah, okay. That's
like there are musicians that will sit there and they'll have a composer in front of them or they'll read sheet music, and then there's musicians that I know and they're some of the most talented people I've ever met. You could play a song and they'll give them 30 seconds, they'll start playing it note for note.
Yeah.
Say, hey, can you write a bit of guitar or can you write a piece of music? No, can't do that. You know, I think just because you do a creative job, that doesn't automatically mean that you're creative. Just because you do a non-creative job, it works both ways.
Yeah, no, I get it. It all depends on the definition, doesn't it?
Of course. I know 3 guitar chords. Well, that's a lie. I know 7. But like, you know, with them 7 guitar chords, I've written the music for 50, 60% of every song we've ever written. Yeah. And then I'll take it to the band and then they'll turn it into, you know, something way better than my WhatsApp voice recording that I've sent them. But do you know what I mean? I can write a song.
Well, having spent, and I don't want to blow smoke up your arse, and I've got a tendency to sit here across from people, and you might, and previous guests might have thought, oh, John's just saying this to be nice because he's sat across. I've spent the last 3 days listening to your stuff.
I'm so sorry.
Mate, it is genuinely so good. And it's when, again, I've been introduced to your music by virtue of you coming on the podcast, and I think it's an amazing, honour's a big word, but it does feel like having that entry point and being introduced to something that makes you feel something. I'm very lucky to have done that. We've had other people in bands that have come on. Rob, that's in Ruskin.
Yeah, Ruskin. Great guy.
I mean, honestly, that just affected my life. Like his stuff now is in my head every week.
That's amazing.
So it was just, so when you're talking about only knowing 7 chords, but that gives you that ability, that gateway, again, to tell stories and have something to put your lyrics to, which are beautiful.
Thank you.
I think that's an amazing thing.